a very important space, the creative spaces, Naija to the world. Do we believe that Naija is really a global brand? The Nigerian entertainment industry, we can all relate to it. I mean, I'm standing with one of the most sought-after Nollywood actors who is watched across the world. Take a good pose.
Thank you.
I'm going to reiterate this again. Now, for those of us who haven't seen Anikulapo, it's streaming on Netflix. And it has garnered reactions all around the world.
Yes.
This man was the leading man in Anikulapo. He played the character. I can't hear you. And Saro has broken hearts but stolen hearts. He has convinced you not to like him in a way because of how excellently he delivered his character. And that's the strength of what Nollywood does. I'm honored to also say that I've shared screen with him. So you should check out Mama Drama on Netflix. Absolutely. That was our first project together.
Yes, oh yeah.
Yes, I'm also an actor sometimes.
And a lawyer.
Speaking
about creative space, I've been very honored to work with this beautiful host, Oliver Modi.
Thank you.
And the sweet thing about this is she's in a room with over 2,000 women, virtually and physically. And she has just been nominated for the Eloy Awards, the Best TV Presenter of the Year. So I don't understand why she won't win with over 2,000 women in a room.
Well, the only way I get to win, first of all, thank you for the applause. I'm truly honored. And I'll just really quickly mention that I am a TV presenter on News Central Television. News Central is one of our partners here at Wimbiz. My show is Breakfast Central, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. West African time. So please, when you turn on your TV on Monday, DSTV 422 is the channel, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. And when you see me, whenever I smile, just know I'm smiling at you. It's only the women that attended Wimbiz that I'm smiling at. And if you'd like to vote for me, of course, Eloy Awards, link is in their bio. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you so much, Kunle. I've loved working with you. That's such a breath of fresh air.
Oh, thank you. I love you right back. Thank you.
All right. So now let's move to the... Sorry? How to vote.
Eloy, on the Eloy page, on the
Yes,
on the
Eloy
bio.
Awards page on Instagram. The link is in their bio. And by the time I'm done now, I'd go to my seat and I'll put the link in my bio as well. My Instagram is Olive MOD. Thank you for asking. That's far too kind.
We're in a room of winners. You are going to win, Olive. We've been seeing winners since yesterday. You're going to win.
Thank you very much. Now let's bring some really incredibly talented people to this stage to have a conversation about the creative spaces and how Nigeria, we're projecting Naija to the world. Now this is sponsored by Doyen Circle. Doyen Circle recently had a stage play in Abuja titled Ada the Country. I was honored to have been able to speak with some of the cast members, but we're going straight to the conversation today.
All right, the first person we're going to be calling up is Udaya Fadul Abata, CEO Udaya Couture.
Please, a round of applause for her. Just looking at her, you know why she is in the fashion business. She screams class.
Elegance.
Very exquisite. Welcome.
The first one. Okay, and then I'd like to call on the beautiful Waje Yorubi.
Can I be your man for a minute?
No,
She sang that.
No, I need to sing the part. Whether now one naira.
Hey. One Bitcoin.
Sorry, she has changed it to Bitcoin. So, whether now one Bitcoin, whether now 10 Bitcoin, Waje, you got me. I beg. I don't think singing is my calling.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Olive, don't.
I agree.
Olive.
I won't try that next time.
Yeah, got you. And next, this is virtual. We have the villain in Woman King, Jimmy Odukoya.
Hello, Jimmy. Good to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Trust me, he may have been fighting women in the entertainment scene, but in real life, he loves women. So let's not take it personal.
All right. We're on the same side, Jimmy. I love you, bro.
Actually, two of you. Now I'm making the connection.
Okay, go.
And up next, we have the president of Kugali Limited, who is in the animation space, Tolu Olowo Foyeku. Can we please put our hands together for him?
I always want to do. I want to make animation.
You want to?
Yes, I'm gonna. This is my first.
Oh, well,
connect.
that's something to probably explore. It's never too late.
Absolutely. And finally, we have the founder, Metallic Inc., Grace Ladoja. Round of applause, please.
All right, Grace Ladoja. Whilst Grace Ladoja joins us, let's welcome our moderator for today.
Yes.
Yesterday we had, whilst we all stood, we've had this passionate feeling about our country because we heard someone sing the national anthem like never before. Please, with a resounding applause, join me as we welcome the one, the only singer-songwriter superstar, Yinka Davis.
Welcome, man.
Ewo. Welcome to the party of our lifetime. Hi, y'all. All looking good. Please, round of applause for the house. Do you like my gaily? I know you like my hair. But you see, I had to do something else, Rep Africa, rep Nigeria. This is from Benue. Don't even joke about it. The floods and everything we're all facing, all our floods, all our famine, no famine in the name of Jesus. Sorry, this is Nigeria. And we what? We rock! Welcome one and all to this beautiful session of creative. I am about to start with my lovely Hanyatu Fado Abacha. It's nice to meet you. Creative, I need you to please, quickly, because we have very few, we want you to talk about your focus, because I listened to you. You were talking about, creativity and focus and passion. Please, help us. Yes, about you. It's just, yes, right now, just talk about you, your focus and your passion and what you are talking about. Because I know you talked about focus, and I know you talk about your passion. I want you to let them now hear you live and direct.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm awkward and shy in front of people, and I don't like talking about myself, but here goes. So I'm very passionate about what I do. I did not go to school for fashion. I didn't go to any fashion school. I started just out of sheer determination and passion for fashion. I know, I said I would not say passion for fashion. So I read microbiology in school, but I really love fashion. And from making things for my friends, for family and sisters and whatnot, from there I started my business from my dad's house. Then from there I moved to a store somewhere. From there I moved to my own store in a small place in Wusetu. From there I went to a bigger place. So the growth was organic. It was step by step. I started small. I was growing my customer base based on, was growing my customer base, and I got to where I am. So what I've realized in this fashion industry is that you need a lot of patience. You need to have consistency, and you need to always remember why you started the business. You need to remember your passion, because along the way, with every other thing that comes with being a creative in this industry, the struggles, you can give up easily. So, but if you're determined and you're consistent, you will get to where you want to go. So that's all I can say.
Lack of design, what does that mean, if I may ask you quickly before I lack of design, printing, and factories in Nigeria, as it were.
So when you get to a certain stage, when you grow to a certain extent in your business, you would want to have exclusivity. You would want to be part of creating your designs, your fabrics, so that you can stand out and be different. When you see other designers doing similar things or using the same print and fabrics with other designers, it's not copying them. It's what we have available in Nigeria. So they are not copying each other. We are using what we can find. So imagine there is a factory, a world-class factory that produces fabrics for every designer to go design your print, pick the type of fabric you want to use, and create your collections. For us to compete with international brands, they don't just go to the market and buy fabrics. They create their fabrics. They print their designs. They create their print from scratch. So they stand out, and they're unique. But we don't have that luxury in Nigeria.
Oh man, that means we need to address this matter quickly. Oh, it gets as if they do me. Eh, not the way you they do me. Girl, I like the way you do. Ladies and gentlemen, I must not take your time because Dwaje is here. She must explain something, lack of structure, explain how female musicians can thrive in this our creative space, which is it's not funny. I'm coming to you, madam. I'll still be with you. Please don't run away. I know you're too shy. It is not good for me that you can be shy. You shall not shy. Right, Waje, please. Microphone for Miss Waje, please. Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Now, wow, even me, self, I dey shy. I don't like talking. I like singing. But since I'm here, I will just try my best. I should sing.
Don't worry, my pianist is not far. He will play you the song that you play, whatever it is.
So, the question is structure. So, in the music industry, right, let's talk about the structure of recording, licensing deals, artist management, all that. So, there's that structure. But because of how I started, I really wanted to focus on the structure you have control over. And the first question is, what do you want out of being in the creative space? We have so many amazing, talented young singers, producers, songwriters, but sometimes because we're not able to define and ask ourselves what structure we want, we become jack of all trades, master of none. And that is, you see that a lot in my industry. I'll give you an example. There's some young lady who is a better producer and sound engineer than she is a singer. But because she's not making herself available for that, it's empty. That space is vacant. And so she's not being her best. And then for somebody like me who prefers to work with a songwriter, I'm forced to do the writing for myself because it's not accessible for me to get the songwriter that I would rather want to work with. Yes. So I think that structure for me is you, especially because of how I started in the industry. I started with nothing, literally not knowing what I wanted. I knew I wanted to sing, but I didn't know what that meant. I didn't understand who my audience was. I didn't understand the type of music that I want to do. So sometimes you see people who listen to me sing, they'll hear my voice and say, oh, Waji, I think you're a ballad singer. But maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm also good at doing pop music. And then you see some people that'll tell you, oh, because I think you should sing songs that are like this or that, or so. For me, because that's a personal story, structure for me, the first thing is answering the question, being true to yourself. What do you want? What is the structure that you can build? One of the examples I like to use when talking about structure is a colleague and a good friend of mine, World. Everybody knows World right now. He's huge, both in the international space and in the local space. But I started following World 5 years before everyone else knew him. And the reason why was because he already knew, he had answered his questions, he knew what he wanted his audience to be. So basically what he did was created a SoundCloud account. And what that did for him was he was growing his audience, 2 at first, then 5, then we became 30 people listening to him, and then and he started growing his audience. So by the time he got a record deal, the record label could put their money where their mouth was because they saw a brand that was marketable. So many times everyone is screaming structure, structure, but you're not creating that structure in the space where you have control over. So that's what structure is to me.
In fact, I feel like listening to her, man, just to for her to continue. Honestly, this is our job, no be joke. Oh. I can't lie. But we shall get back to. I know some of our sisters are getting ready to gearing up to ask you lots of questions. Until then, yo, Jimmy.
Yes, ma'am.
Yo, Jimmy. You see this guy?
Good to
I can't lie to you. I won't lie. Me, I have been praying. Every prayer where I pray, I get a chance to see it in my lifetime. I'm gonna clap for me. That is Jenny. Look at her. Look at Hanyatu. Just look at her. Look at them. I wanted something to happen in Nigeria, and look at it. It has come to pass. Jimmy, talk to me. You said you went to pray for Hollywood. We've been praying for Hollywood before you prayed for Hollywood, okay? And look at it. Man, I love this guy. Please, give these beautiful sisters something to talk about. Tell them about the story, how you got into this particular place. That man, all of us have to say, wow, thank you, Lord, for this beautiful, sexy man that is married, though. He's married, though. He's married, though. He's a married man. Don't let us disgrace ourselves. Over to you, my brother.
It's really good to see you, and thank you to everyone, and to Wimbiz, and of course to my auntie. I have to give a big shout out to Mrs. Yoade Zakis for making this happen. Let's just say that the reason why I'm here, I can't take any credit for it. I have to say it's all God. I believe that everything that happened was just His divine hand and just the grace that I've seen Him just show to me, and I'm really humbled for the opportunity. But I must say that, they say that luck happens when preparation meets opportunity. For the longest time, while I started in Nollywood in 2016, and at the start of 2021, I began to say to anyone who would hear that I was going to Hollywood. And of course, people thought I was crazy because that's not something that usually happens. But I just believed it, speaking it out into the atmosphere, saying that I was going to go to Hollywood. What I was doing was, in everything that I've done, and people ask me, what is it like for you being in Hollywood now, being in such a big production, and I tell them, I say, I'm doing exactly what I was doing before, just on a bigger platform. A lot of people always think that when the big opportunity comes, they're going to rise to the occasion, they're just going to show up. But what you don't realize is if you're faithful over the little, then a lot is coming into your hand. And so the same work ethic I had in Nollywood, the same attention to detail, the same passion, the same drive, was pretty much everything that I've been doing that allowed me to function and to perform the way I did in The Woman King. And as far as it happening, literally, I got a DM. I got a DM in my Instagram asking about some international work if I was available to do such. And in my Nollywood mindset, I said, they want me to shoot for like 4 or 5 months. And I was like, yeah, that's a long time to keep me. Can you afford me to pay me for 4 months? Having no idea that it was an international project. And, they sent me the audition slides and I went in for the audition. I did a self-tape. And the next day they would ask me for headshots and resume. And in Nollywood, we don't use headshots or resumes. But in 2020, during lockdown, I decided to compile my resume of all my work. And as God would have it, I was in a photo shoot in April, and a friend of mine took some headshots. And so that's going back to preparation. Because I already had those in place, I could send it to them. And to cut the long story short, because I know there are a lot of people that need to speak, after several callbacks, they asked me if I could ride a horse. They asked me if I had physical training. And because for me, I always made, one of the big criteria for my character was a athletic, muscular actor. And people who know me know that I spend most of my time in the gym. And people would ask me all the time, what are you training for? Why do you work out so hard? But I realized that everything that I've been doing was preparing me for my role in The Woman King, from my diet, from my workout regimen. And to cut the long story short, did all the auditions, spoke to the director, and she asked me on the Zoom, and she said, you're going to be playing alongside Viola Davis. Do you think you have what it takes to play alongside Viola Davis? And I said to her, listen, I've been a big fan of hers. I've been preparing for this role my whole life. And when you play alongside the best, you have to be the best. So I'm confident I can rise to the occasion, you know. And she said she liked me. They took my tape to Sony. Sony approved. I got my visa in October. I was out on the plane. I was filming in November. And the rest, they say, is history. So we filmed, and I'm so glad that we're able to bring this African story and to tell our own story and to be able to represent Nigeria and Nollywood on the biggest stage.
You can't escape it. Oh. Did you just escape? Okay, he will come back, Abby. Okay.
No, I'm here.
Okay. So don't run away, oh. All right? Don't run anywhere. Look at this guy. Isn't he sweet? Wouldn't you say my collection's complete? Wouldn't you say I'm a girl who's got everything and Jim is far away from me? I got Tolu Olowo for Yeku on my right. Who got the Disney?
But who cares? No big deal.
I want more. Ladies, a round of applause. Tell us about it. Come on, tell us about it.
Okay, first of all, how many minutes do I have?
Don't worry. Just tell us. By the time, Auntie, are you available for? Tell him time up. Just tell him. Brayinka, you are there. We will kill him when he's doing with music. Please go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. I'll just go straight to the point. My name is Tolu Oluofoyeku. I'm the president of Kugali Limited. Kugali is an entertainment company that focuses on visual storytelling. So when I say visual storytelling, I'm talking about comic books, animation, video games, augmented realities, so on and so forth. And the company is Pan-African, meaning we tell African stories told by Africans. Right now, our team is scattered across the globe. Have people in Uganda, South Africa, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, all over the diaspora as well, some Africans in the UK and so on. So that is what I do. And in the process of doing all of this, we caught the eye of Disney Animation Studios. So they reached out to us and we ended up collaborating on an animated series. It's called Iwaju. It will be out next year on Disney+. So that's just a quick summary, and some of the things others have said before I spoke actually tie into how I got here. So, for example, Waje talked about structure. When I started in this industry, the industry was almost non-existent in Nigeria. I mean, there were no animation companies except the people doing adverts for telcos. They would do those little animated adverts. There were no comic book companies. Till now, there is no comic book shop in Nigeria. You only see comic books in bigger bookshops. They would then have a small section for comics. So the same thing with video games. So when I started, my goal was to make video games, and I realized that even if I made a very good video game from Nigeria, by the way, I should point out, I spent all my life here in Nigeria. I didn't Japa. I schooled here. I still live here. So I wanted to do these things, and I realized that the environment there was no structure for it in this environment. So I decided to create that structure myself. I decided to create a platform where people could discover the best comics, animations, and games coming out of Africa. Because I looked at it right from my childhood. There are websites I used to go to find out what the latest video game was. Let's call them the video game equivalent of CNN or BBC. That's where you go when you want to find out. And I realized I had never seen a single game from Africa. So I said, okay, I'll create a website where people would go to find African content like that. But by the time I met my co-founders, and one of them had more of a focus on animation, my focus was video games. The other guy, his focus was story writing and comic books. We said, you know what, we don't have to do just one. Let's create a company that would project all of this coming out of Africa. And about what Jimmy said about everything you're doing, it's the same work ethic. It's you prepare before the opportunity comes. So the same way we had already covered the gamut of visual storytelling in Africa, and we had already started publishing stories. When we started, the goal wasn't actually to publish. It was to just showcase other people's work. We thought, if people are making games, if people are making comics, if people are making animation, let's show it to the world. Let's show the world this is what is coming out of Africa. But then we realized there wasn't that much content. Not many people were doing it. So we became not just a media house that showcases other people's work, but we became a publisher that curates and publishes both our own work and the work of others who collaborate with us. So we were already publishing, we were already putting comics out there when the BBC found us. So it was BBC before Disney Animation. Why did the BBC find us? We were not the only comic book company in Nigeria. So when we registered the company in 2017. The Lagos Comic Convention, this year was their 10th year, and they did not do a convention in 2020 because of the pandemic, meaning this year makes it 11. So if I count backwards, the comic convention started in about 2002 or 2001. There are other comic companies. Why did the BBC single us out? It was because we were doing something nobody else was doing. We were not making Nigerian comics or Ghanaian comics. We're covering the whole of the continent. And we created a product that showcased, you buy a single book, the book is 200 pages, and it has comics from 4 different countries. That was the kind of thing we were doing. And this was back in 2017. This was in 2017. So that caught the BBC's attention. They decided to interview us. Another thing about preparation, when they decided to interview us, they did not shoot, video us, do an interview, and post it online immediately. They first had a private talk with us. If at that point we had failed to impress them, they would never have done the larger interview. Because I remember we first had like 2 hours worth of calls before they actually started shooting anything. So meaning during those 2 hours, they could have said, these guys the quality is not what we're looking for. This story is not worth telling. But after we scaled through that part, and then we got interviewed by the BBC in mid-2018, they did not actually, I remember they interviewed us around June 2018, and I couldn't tell anybody because the interview wasn't yet out. So, don't go and bear and you'll be saying, I've been interviewed by the BBC. And then after 4 months, nobody has seen the video. What are you talking about? So I couldn't say anything until January 2019, 6 months after. That's when they released that interview. The moment they released that interview, within a week or two, Disney Animation reached out to us. So it's since 2019 we've been working on Iwaju. And I can't wait for everybody to see it next year when it comes out on Disney+. I think I should stop there for now.
Yeah! On that note, I think it's time to give you people something sweet to hear. Keep smiling, keep shining, knowing you can always count on me. For sure, that's what friends are for. But I can't show you now. In good time and bad time, we'll be on your side forevermore. That's what friends are for. friends of old.
In good
In
times
good time,
and bad times,
they'll be on your side forevermore. Oh, that's what friends of old. Hudayat, please take the microphone. I need her to quickly say, sorry, forgive me, I messed up big, but I want to correct my Hudayat. Please give me that challenge in, what did you, Hudayat challenge in, oh my God, my head is on the, because I'm still singing in my head, forgive me. Hudayat, you know the question you wrote to me, running a business, successful, that's it. Let her quickly take that for me. Running a success, challenges in run, especially for being a baby. Being a baby. Yeah, Hudaya, help me.
Okay, so okay, so running a successful business, being a woman on its own is a challenge because as a woman, you are first a sister, a daughter, a wife, and a mother. So much is expected of you. And sometimes you can easily cave in because of all these expectations from you being a woman, and you can give up on your own dreams. I feel you could be twice as determined to make it. So let's not dwell on being a woman. We already know it's a challenge for us, but we will get past it, and we can do it, and we've been doing it. So it is not a challenge anymore. It's part of our life. So the next challenge would be basic amenities. Running a business, we have lack of power, lack of water, lack of so many things, and then the government taxes, the levies, and then you're working today, FIRS, next tomorrow, AMAC. Even putting a signage outside is a problem. Sometimes a lot of businesses run businesses without signages outside because you are afraid if you pay for them. So now, getting skilled artisans, tailors, and people to work with is a problem. Then when you finally find these people and you train them to share your vision, your work ethics, a lot of people feel my business is separate and I am separate. No, you and your brand are one. Your personality rubs off on your business. If you are a nasty person or if you have bad customer relation, it would rub off on your business. And your staff will adopt the same attitude you have towards your clients. So you have to work with the right team that share your work ethics and share your vision. Then when you finally find this team and you're working with, you have to invest in training this team, training them to the capacity, to the level that you want them to be. Then after you finish training this team of yours, then you now have to worry about them wanting to go and start a business, which they didn't tell you about. Then you now, because they mostly come to you to learn from you and leave. But I respect honesty. If from the beginning you tell me you want to invest 2 years, a year in my business and you want to go and start yours, it's okay. But after learning from you, they leave. Or you worry about other people in your industry poaching your staff, poaching your team, which I feel is wrong. There should be an unwritten silent code where you don't do that to your colleagues. As women, we should support each other. We know the difficulties we go through to set up a business, train the team. We should not try to bring each other down by doing things like that. But it happens. So now this team, they would leave. I would suggest if you have a business you're running, after training your team, you should invest in a standard operation of business, standard operation procedure, a simple one, from start to finish, from how you start your business, how your clients come in until they received their product. So that when you change staff or when the staff leaves you and you hire new people, they just adopt the SOP you have in place, which is a structure. So if you have a business structure, if your team should leave, somebody else will step in and take over the role. Or always have someone that knows what A is doing. Yeah. So that when A leaves, B will step in. Even in government, there is a president, there's a vice president. There is a governor, there's a deputy governor. When one is not available, the next person steps up. So you need to have people in your team that can step up to do the job of another. Then lack of raw materials, accessories, trimmings, things that we need. As a fashion designer, when you establish your business and the business is growing, the next step is for you to expand and grow into other things. Like, okay, have your own customized fabrics, have your own designs, invest in leather, shoes, and bags. But we don't even have such factories. We don't have raw materials to produce such things.
We have the raw materials, but we don't have the factories.
We don't have the factories. So we need investors to step in and set up factories for all these things because we have the resources. So I think, and the government needs to make it easy for investors to invest and stay in Nigeria.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. And also, funds. There are so many initiatives, grants outside for small business owners and other business owners, but we don't know about it. There's not much information out there. There's not much information out there.
I would rather you just pause there right now.
Because, okay,
that one
I run
is a
a school.
different discussion altogether.
Okay, so I think more information should be out there for the public to access these grants and initiatives that are available to small business owners, for us in the fashion industry or even in the creative industry.
Thank you. No, hold on.
Thank you very much. Have you enjoyed this panel session?
Thank you, Hudai.
Have we enjoyed this plenary? Okay.
With the sweet music. You're
We
coming.
we know that it's time for questions. We want to take some questions from the audience. Want to see if we can take more questions this time. So if you have questions, now will be the time to walk to the microphone closest to you, and we'll see how much we can take. Virtual questions as well. For those online, please drop your questions and we'll take them.
Olive, I would like to, while we get the people that are asking questions, I'd like to ask the first question, and this is for PJ. PJ.
Why do I feel like this is a setup?
No, but for real though.
Go ahead, Kule.
PJ, trust me. So I have a lot of people that ask questions like, does PJ have representation outside the country? How did he do it? Does he know somebody? Do you know somebody that got you into that gig with Viola Davis? Or was it just your consistency and your focus on your career that opened that door as to you knowing somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody?
To answer your question, I didn't have representation. I got representation after the Woman King, but what got me to the door of the Woman King was, like you said, it was hard work and consistency. It was just literally, like I said, preparing and that preparation, and so my work ethic had consistently spoken for me. So when there was a need, apparently they had gone to 5 different countries trying to fill this role, and they couldn't find anyone that they felt could embody the character, and so they had casting directors in the US, in the UK, South Africa. They went to Paris, they went to Ghana, and for some reason they couldn't find anyone to fill the role. And so they reached out to a contact in Nigeria, and that's how my name came up, and it was put forward as possibly auditioning to see if I had what it took to get the role. So to answer your question, no, it wasn't based on representation or any of that. It was basically hard work that positioned me for the opportunity when it came.
Did you hear what he said? Okay, let me break it down to you. I'm just joking. They went to 5 different countries looking for someone for his character, and they found no one until they came to Nigeria. Isn't that iconic?
And when they came to Nigeria, they found him because he was prepared.
Opportunity.
So stay prepared.
I know some people are already using it as prayer points that wherever they are looking for my talent, they will not find anybody that will fill that position. But are you prepared? Thank you so much to our wonderful panel. Let's take some questions from the physical audience and then we head over to the virtual. Your name and your question as quickly as possible. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Joy Bassi, and I'm from Akwa Ibom. I own a garment factory in Akwa Ibom. And my question is, how do you handle poaching in fashion business when you spend years growing and teaching someone, especially for a climb like mine where not many people exist where I am, and then you build these people and people just scout them and take them away from you. Are there any resources on the legal aspects of this? I mean, there's little information I have access to, so that's really my question.
That's a very good question.
Thank you very much. Let's take all the questions and then we'll take the answer so we can save time.
Yeah, right. Next.
My name is Funsho Iberindu, and my question
Can you speak up a little bit?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Funsho Iberindu, and my question is targeted at Tolu. So when you were speaking and talking about video games, it suddenly looked as if I was talking to my teenage son. He feels school is boring, he doesn't want to go to school, and he tells me all I want to do, mommy, is play games and build games and sell them. I've tried all sorts of negotiation, go to school, do this, try to use it as spec, withdraw it. Nothing seems to be working. So I just want to throw it directly to you. Any stairs? Did you have that challenge as well? What are stairs that I can use? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Great question. Next, please.
All right, thank you. My name is Mirabel, and I'm a motion designer. And so my question goes to you, the animator. I started motion designing this year, 2022, and I've been fortunate to make some mographs for the Social Enterprise World Forum. But what are some of the resources that you would recommend for motion designers and animators to grow further in and improve themselves? And because this is the tech world, and people have lost like 1K jobs just in this week in the tech industry, so we need to improve our skills.
Thank you very much. Great question. Next.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I don't have a question, but I want to respond to something that was said. My name is Ruth, and I work as an investment banker, and there was a comment about funding not being available. So I work with Emerging Africa, and one of the things that we do is to link investors with people that need funds. And I lead the investor relations team. So I have a growing database of investors, and then I have... I'm sorry?
Repeat your name. Now they're interested in your name now.
With your full chest. We need to hear.
Sorry, mommies. I have to make sure she talks slow.
I'm sorry. My name is Ruth Okar, and I work with Emerging Africa. I don't know how many people know Tony Sonny. Yes, she's my CEO. So that's what we do. So if there's any business owner that needs funding, you can reach out to me. If there's any investor that wants to invest in a business, you can also reach out to me. We have
women! Una don't hear.
Deals. Thank you very much.
Are you hearing?
Please, how can they reach out to you?
Are you hearing?
Do you want to maybe share an email?
I hope you have enough.
Can you please share an email? Is that
you better
okay?
not tell us that there's collateral problem.
Okay, my email address, RUTH, that's Ruth.Okah, OKHAH, at emergingafricagroup.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ruth Okar, for that. We should be thanking you.
We unfortunately, we're going to stop on this question, on her question, please, because we had the count already.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
All right. Hi. My name is Sumi Sola. My question is directed to our beautiful musicians. So my sister is also a musician, but was unable to make it to Wimbiz, even though she paid. So I'm just trying to represent her because today everyone's been shooting their shots. So I like everything that you've described about structure, about having determination, about, being a beautiful singer, lyricist, all of that. She has everything. Okay. And she's also on the verge of possibly giving up the career because she hasn't been able to, push through like she would like. So I just wanted to know what kind of practical support there is for independent singers who want to make it, who have everything, but they just don't have that last push. And also, is it possible that she can get private mentorship if
I'm
possible?
the only person here that is Olive. Why are you being Oliver Twist?
Sorry?
Sorry? You're being Oliver Twist. You're supposed to have one question when you ask it to.
They've encouraged them to shoot shots.
It's okay.
I was shooting my shot on the last one.
And it's good. It's good to shoot your shot. It's okay. All right. Thank you so much. We will get to your question.
Thank you.
All right. Finally.
Hi, Waji. Hi, PJ. I just wanted to ask...
Can you turn up your volume? Thank you.
Good afternoon. Good evening.
Good evening.
I just wanted to ask, how do you know what to really be creative about? How did you know for PJ that you really wanted to act and for Waji that you really wanted to sing? Because I've really tried finding my passion and what I love to do, but I can't find it. I only know I don't want to be broke and mediocre. What's your advice?
That's a valid question.
First
of all, I think we should all, first of all, can we please put our hands together for her? I can tell that she was incredibly shy. And it took everything he had to come out to ask this question.
It's a lot of
And that's what
courage.
we are about in Wimby.
It's a lot of courage.
Taking that first step. So well done. We're proud of you.
Thank you.
Okay.
So our questions now.
I'm going to run through the questions. Please, we all have 1 minute each. We'll start with you. How do you handle poaching in fashion business?
Okay, before we get to that, I want to talk about the funding. It's not like there's no funding out there, but we just need more information about the funding. I have a school, I graduate like 20 designers every 3 months. So they need to have more information on this funding so that when they graduate, it doesn't kill the dream if they don't have the capacity or the fund to start the business. So I'm very happy with what you said, and I will get your information across to all my students, from the first ones till date to the last one. So about poaching, it's something you can't escape. It comes with the business. People will always poach. But you have to make your business environment conducive for your staff. What are you offering your staff that other people will not? What incentives are you offering? You can offer them healthcare services where when they're sick, you take care of them. You can open an account with, they have these programs where you can open and also offer that to them.
Right.
Housing, do you offer them housing where they work in your factory? If you offer them housing, why would they want to leave where they are being housed to go to where they have to pay rent?
Okay.
And your own personal attitude. You have to be human with people that you work with. You have to invest in them. You have to know about their family, their kids. When their kids are sick, you should always ask, how's this person? How's your wife? That makes them feel like they are family.
And
they are
connected
part of your,
to the person.
You connect
Yes.
with them.
Thank
they
you
feel
very
like they are
much,
part of
Hudaya.
your company and they would want to grow with you.
Thank you, Hudaya.
Thank
That's
you.
a very detailed answer. Tolu, you're next, but please, 1 minute. I'm going to ask you the 2 questions in one.
Don't worry, I remember
You already know
them.
them.
Let
Oh,
me
great.
take them.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to answer 3 questions, not 2, and I'll do it in 1 minute. First question I'll answer was from the last session. People were confused about the metaverse. Please raise up your hand here if you've ever bought a domain name before. You've bought a domain name. Then you've bought space on the internet. What do you mean you don't understand it? That is all it is. You're buying space on the internet. You've bought a domain name so that you can operate in that space. Second question, a child who is interested in making video games. I would say to encourage him to still finish his education, tell him to think of it like gymming. When you're at the gym, you're not lifting the weights because of the weights themselves. The weights are not an end. They are a means to an end. You're lifting the weights so that you have the strength to then later go and play sports or to go and do something else. So he can have his career in video games, just like I have my career, but education always helps.
Okay.
So then the third question, resources for motion graphics. Because I don't have time, please go to kugali.com. We have a contact form there, kugali.com, Kugali. That's my company, kugali.com, Kugali. Go there, fill the contact form, just tell us what you're looking for, and we'll get back to you.
Thank you very much, Tolu. 2 more questions. That means 2 minutes to go. Wajia, this is for you. Practical
Yes.
support for independent singers, and if you're open to mentorship.
Okay, so practical support for singers. Now, let me be honest with you. There are really no practical supports out there, so to speak. Let me be very honest. Yes, you have record labels and all that, but trust me, in terms of ratio, there are not as many that have the structure that can support you. So the thing I wrote here, I said, look beyond your current view. There are certain things that you have now. You have social media. Let's take an example from the young lady who sang Adulthood Na Scam. She used TikTok. She didn't have that, the record label or anything like that. So use what you have now. Another thing I put down is don't take the pressure to become in place of the work. Do the work. It's a continuous, consistent thing. You don't know who is watching. I signed up to be part of The Voice America. The only reason why I couldn't go ahead was because I wasn't a resident. And I just wanted to go and compete. Few years down the line, this is my 4th year as a coach on The Voice Nigeria. So just stay with it, be consistent with it. And for the mentorship, I have a mentorship program called Music and Her. We're starting next year. It's a hub. So take my number before we leave.
Ooh, love it. Thank you so much, Wajia. And the final question, this is for you, Jimmy. It says, how do you know what to be creative about? So, Jimmy.
I think creativity, I think it just lies within. I don't think there is a formula to show you what creativity, I think it's just within you, it's the passion. But as far as falling into following your passion, I tell people, do what you have to do so you can do what you want to do. Right? And so as far as me being an actor, a full-time actor, my background was business. I was a consultant. I was in oil and gas. I was in corporate training and happened to do a movie. And I became a full-time actor when I saw that it was lucrative enough to pay me more than I was earning in my 9 to 5. And so I would say, as far as your passion, continue to stoke your passion, whatever it is that gives you joy, that excites you, something that you're happy to do for free if you didn't get paid, and just continue to build on that while you do your 9 to 5 or do the structure thing that brings income, because we do need to survive. And when you get to a place where your passion can become your full-time work, and no one has to tell you, when you're earning more from your passion than your full-time work, then organically that becomes your main focus. So that's the quick, short answer to that question.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. And you've just answered the question of DOT as well, who was online asking how you address people that do not know what they want to do. So thank you very much for sharing. Thank you to our panelists, our plenary members. Can we please give them a round of applause?
This was absolute fun. Absolute fun. Thank you.
And I think it's very important at this point, of course, we have to take pictures. So let's please welcome Ijoma Taylor, the chair, Wimby's Finance Committee, to join us on stage for pictures. Please put your hands together for her. She's wearing my favorite color and the Wimby's brand. So the color has just been entering my eyes since.
You cannot do anything about this one. No. Hey. I believe the children are future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Mummies, show them all the beauty they possess and shine. Pick your microphone, girl. Give them, mummies, our aunties, our mummies, our sisters. Hey, let the children's life remind us how we used to be searching for heroes. What to look at? I don't forget the words. I never find anyone to fulfill my needs. A holy place to be. So I learned to depend on me. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadows. If I fail, if I succeed, I did as I believe, no matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity. Up our plenary sessions.
Thank you.
We started with a high and we ended on a high. Can we please put our hands together for ourselves? We are indeed the future. We are indeed that someone that they will look up to. Thank you so much. That was such a powerful rendition.
Yeah, PJ.
I have goosebumps.
Thank you for the baritone, PJ. We heard you. We heard you.